first you can go and I'll hand up these.
What?
Sorry. Thank you. All right, welcome everyone to our self-care group today. These are a few to-do lists. This is like a reflection of what we're going to be doing today.
Don't forget to
And this is yours as well. Thank you everyone for taking the time out of your day to come to our group. I know it was a very eventful night last night for everyone, so I'm happy that you guys are here and ready to participate and kind of get some things going. So, I know everyone's not a fan of icebreakers, but we're going to do them. So, the goal for this icebreaker today is we're just going to go around and say our name, just so kind of we can put a name to a face, build a little cohesion here, and we're going to say our dream job. So I'll start off and then we'll go around Katelyn and we'll finish with Caspian. So my name is Stephanie and my dream job is to be an astronaut.
I'm Caitlin and I would like to be a baker.
I'm Michaela and I would want to be a marine biologist.
And I'm Gary. I would love to be an equine caretaker. What is the proper word for it? Anyway, take care of horses. There you go.
I like that.
I'm Charlotte. I want to be an actress or a singer.
I'm Isabel. I'm gonna be like a blogger and travel around the world.
I'm Fred. I want to be a chef.
I'm Christoph, and I want to be in charge of social campaigns for celebrities.
Oh man, you guys all have really cool ones. I have no idea what I want to do.
Well, I'm Kara, and you guys all had cool ones. Huh?
You do like ordinary. Ordinary is just as cool.
I mean, I really just wanted to work in like prevention for teenagers.
That's awesome.
If it paid well enough to live on, I would do nothing but train emotional support animals and service dogs.
So thank you everyone for sharing. These are really cool jobs. I know that from this program we're all graduate students going in for the School of Social Work, which has a lot to offer because our field has such a wide variety of things that we can do with it and how we can propel even further into our field of academia and professional and our academics. So leading into that, as we know that this program is about self-care and professional and academic self-care. So if you want to read that on the board, we'll just talk a little bit about what it is.
Alright, so the definition of self-care is self-care refers to activities and practices that we can engage in on a regular basis to reduce stress and maintain and enhance our short and long-term health and well-being.
So I think, as we all know, we kind of get the take care of yourself, self-care 101 all the time in our field. Definitely easier said than done, I think, for a lot of us. However, professional and academic self-care is basically to make sure that our bodies, our minds are as happy and healthy and productive so we can be that in our academic and our professional fields. So essentially, that's kind of what we want to focus on today. And we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to do a group activity in a few minutes, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some tips and how we can actually maintain a really chaotic life as a professional or even as a student. So if you guys want to just cross off that we went over the icebreakers on your to-do list, and we'll just keep crossing things off as we go through it. And then when you're all ready, we can just get around this table and then we'll describe the directions for the activity.
I'm proud of you.
Tell your mom I got to get it. Was it that good last time?
I know.
No, I just not even.
I
had Amy Sugar.
I left like early.
Beforehand, so I was with the crowd. I was just. Sorry.
I talked to you. What are you doing?
I don't
really
know.
everyone's
going over except Michaela.
Yes. Oh, I know.
It's shared.
You guys
All right.
ready to have some fun?
So we're going to do a little action because everyone kind of seems like we're a little slow right now, which we're all feeling, trust me. So as we did, we kind of projected what our next week looks like in our department. And as of right now, it's a little bit scary. We got fields every Tuesday and Thursday. We have that mock interview we have to do, the lit revision, you name it, it's due. And then the journals, there's like all additional things that we have to do on top of our lives just as a normal human being. So, in this thing, these are all the action steps, and you guys, I'm gonna ask for you guys to all work together and then put the action steps where you would in order to make sure that you get the deadline for each of these. So the ones in yellow are a deadline, and the ones that are white are action steps. So if you guys can all, even if you don't wanna sit in your chairs, if we all wanna get up and just kind of work with each other, and how we're gonna put these in to make sure that you can get through the week safely.
No, this
It's
is just
sorry,
for
when
the
it's
sake
due.
of the activity.
Don't worry.
You guys covered
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yes, so make sure that you use these actions,
these
just
are-
like,
Not real
not
ones.
real ones.
Oh,
Karen.
not so the
I
monster.
got
You were
you.
punching, I was like, oh my god.
Alright, so
So-
yellow, you cannot change it out, like,
Yeah,
you cannot move them whatsoever, okay?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And then Caitlin's gonna come around, we'll probably throughout the session, we'll get a few emails, a few letters of some stuff that you guys need to do in addition to already this huge caseload. So if you guys wanna work together and just see how you can figure out how you're gonna do the action steps in order to get this deadline done.
So, schedule marking, we have to put some over there, I guess. 'cause
Yeah,
that-
way down there. 'cause I
And
can
do the
find it.
meetings for Lisa's class could be.
Yeah, you can do it online, so.
Do it on Sunday, maybe?
And do lit review maybe on
Yeah.
Sunday too.
Lit review?
My business is kicked in.
I
Do
would do it
everything on Sunday night.
Yeah, no, this isn't legit.
Oh.
It's just like what's on my.
Like,
Yeah, like
we're
Lit
doing
review.
it
Everything's like
Off.
on the clock
Shit
at
on
night.
outside. Right?
Yeah.
That's not too.
Wait, when's the mock trial?
Go to the mock trial.
Oh, say that.
Wow. Oh,
Do the field journals. Alright,
Alrighty.
so now how does your schedule look?
We got a journal
hectic.
thing?
A little hectic?
You feel it.
Field analysis.
Manageable though?
All about
Alright.
Manageable-ish.
Okay,
Why is it dark?
so,
So we're
who
gonna
wants
have you
to
It's just the.
open.
it. Who, I do.
put in one?
Okay, that's all.
We're gonna add a few extra things to our schedule, just so
Brandon,
we
you can have
know.
the next one.
I think myself. Let's see you.
Can we look for it today? Can we look for it or something?
I got church.
Okay.
Guys,
Dear
if we could
students,
just hone in a little bit
oops,
over
sorry
here,
for the
just
short
focus
notice,
on
but
the
we need to have an
assignments.
mandatory advisory meeting Monday at 9 a.m. See you then, CB.
So you guys just have to make sure that this deadline now fits in.
Uh-oh.
And it does.
9 a.m.
We're
Good
good.
morning.
Oh my god.
So if you guys have to start shifting around stuff when a few more things come out, then make sure everyone's in the loop with that. You can just put that over here. We have a few more to hand out,
Alright, number 2.
Oh my god, there's a lot.
or if everyone, if we wanted to hand them out to everyone, so we keep everyone going. And then whatever's 3, 4, we'll keep going.
Yeah, I want one.
Oh my god, guys, I got a lot.
Oh my god, how many are there?
9. Who wants a second one?
But we'll take these two.
Oh, yeah, I have the second one.
What did yours say?
It says,
Who wants
dear
this
class, sorry. Dear class, don't you have to
So
come?
let's just, guys, let's just wait and let's figure out the schedule.
Don't forget, you have to come to my office hours Monday at 6 p.m. to go over your lit review before submitting on Wednesday. Have a great day, Lisa. So Monday.
Lisa, why do you have office hours at 6 p.m.? You gotta work.
Office hours.
Right.
Alright, we have to go get our
Wait,
package.
so I have 3.
What time?
Hopefully it's something good.
So let's just go in order. We're gonna go, whoever has the third one,
I have 3.
yeah, whoever has the third one, we're gonna put that in the
So I
calendar.
got a cool one. This week, so, but this one's
So-
what we did.
Uh-oh, looks like the exhaustion caught up to you. Go to health services before this upcoming weekend. Don't forget to stay healthy. Your body.
So now you guys have to try and fit that in your schedule anytime before Friday.
I think Wednesday. because-
Yeah, Wednesday doesn't look like that much to
Yeah.
Just stuff for
Yeah.
Because the
We
liter-
have to,
but, right, but
do. Yeah,
I
we can
think,
do that in the morning. Yeah, but the review already
Yeah.
done.
because it's due
Yeah, it's
that
just
day.
due, yeah.
So then we have a month left. We'll move it if we need to.
See, we did the lit review
on Sunday.
on Sunday.
Good day.
What about all the other?
10 missed calls from your best friend. Text, my boyfriend/girlfriend just broke up with me. I'm so upset. Please comfort me tonight. Tuesday, when you get back from field. Love your best friend. BFF ice cream duty. Tuesday after.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep.
For now.
So now as we see, our schedules are kind of filling up a little bit more than anticipated for next week.
Five, there's 5.
I have this one.
Sorry, it's the post office one. We have to pick up our, whatever was in the package.
Package.
Before PM.
What was in the package?
I don't know.
4 p.m. on
Maybe
Friday.
stuff that you bought last night.
Eric got so
Yeah, we can
excited.
do it Friday night.
Yeah.
I
did.
Hey, Charlie, you want to throw in the time?
Alrighty, let's see who's got the next one.
Who's
Six.
six?
Jerry,
Oh,
love
I got number six, right?
He's shook a little bit.
Yeah.
I got my line somewhere else, huh?
Ah.
Hey, you, yeah, you. Better get some laundry done this week, or Commander Lee.
Hey, on that
Right. Bring your dirty underwear, okay. So we better do that Sunday, right?
Where's
I
the
just
six?
watched because I know.
Yeah, I
There's
love
left.
You know, we
I
can do
like
a Saturday, just do nothing
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, put it on
Saturday.
Saturday.
We'll knock it over.
Oh, laundry, oh.
Let's do that Saturday.
Why do I feel so empty inside? Fill me up so you can have lunch, at field on Tuesday. Fridge. So
Friday, Sunday maybe? Or Saturday.
I think
too.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday's all the, yeah.
Depends what you're having for lunch, because it may spoil by Tuesday.
Oh,
Shush.
you just have to get the stuff, doesn't mean to.
That's why I can't eat salad.
Well, the salads go
What
bad,
number
but like
are we
others.
on now?
7, 8.
8.
Fellow bar people, who's going to Stout on Thursday? You are.
Yeah, she is.
Thursday
He knows my
night.
drink.
So you guys better make sure that you're ready to get up Friday morning.
I was today.
Look, here I am.
I'm gonna take my
after
moving.
class.
Yeah. The post office run is not gonna be.
Dear seniors, time flies when you're having fun or stressed. Don't forget to register for your last semester of classes. Wednesday morning, hashtag Sienna19.
Oh,
Brother.
Okay, so we have to move this.
move it down. We can still go to health services after registration, yeah.
True, yeah.
Takes 2
I
seconds.
was gonna say, it shouldn't take long.
Very good.
Alrighty, so how do we think our week looks for right now?
Oh my god, I haven't opened 10
I'm
yet.
already
Kind of
crying.
right
It
now.
looks like,
Yeah.
yeah, what mine is.
Yeah.
We have a lot going
It
on.
looks like
Hopefully,
my week.
hopefully. No, that was 9, right?
Yeah.
I think this is less busy.
Oh, 8.
Who's got nine?
Honestly, yeah, because I have work.
Friday night.
Who has
Yeah.
nine?
Oh, that was 9.
Oh, okay.
8, 9, okay, yeah.
She's taking out careful.
Charlie, is that right? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We have to go to the gym.
About 3 times in the week,
We
right?
could go Sunday.
No, 5
Sunday.
Okay, Garrett, put one for Sunday.
Sunday,
Yeah, it'll be a
Thursday.
good night.
Sunday, Tuesday night, we're having ice cream. So,
Yeah.
So we should have, we should.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. And
And
then what
If
about?
you
Friday
really wanna
morning.
eat-
What about Friday
No, we
morning?
should-
Friday morning after
No, we
Stout.
should do it after we.
Yeah.
No.
What about after the post office, Friday night?
Nope, we're not going Friday.
You're right.
Saturday, during the day.
Wait, what are we doing?
Then you're
It's
working
kind of
out
hard to
2
find a
days in
place
row.
for it.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
that too.
But-
Why don't we go Monday
And work out the same
after,
day.
why don't we go Monday after Alicia's office
Or
hours?
let's do and spin Tuesday before we go.
I'm doing spin Tuesday at 7:15.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so
can
that's
do
the
that.
gym.
So just put it there.
Because not all of us
I
have
think those
early,
rules are right.
like me.
No, I don't go to field until
That I
12.
was out until.
So then Tuesday and Thursday, soon.
She's trying to make me go to 8 and I'm like, yeah, no.
Alrighty, so we're feeling a little bit stressed out now that this is our schedule for next week?
You have 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
This is going to gym 3 times a week.
3 times a week. Exactly. Alright, so how about we try and get back in our circle and we're just gonna discuss a little bit about the schedule.
I step out of the shower, steaming
Hold on, full steam ahead. Wait, there's a chair.
I just rolled over my entire bed.
I can't use that.
Alright, if you guys just wanna cross off the icebreakers and the overview off the to-do list, just so you can kind of keep track of the things that we've accomplished so far. Cars.
Yep.
Staff, was that the group activity?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
It's fun, right?
I forgot.
Now that we're more stressed than we thought we'd be, let's just talk a little bit about it.
Alright, so what did you guys all think about, like, making the schedule.
That was
My life.
It was like,
Like literally my
I
life.
I like how you start off with like the academic stuff,
Mhm.
and then you add on like
The life stuff.
less important stuff, like the gym was last. And did you do that on purpose?
It's kind of like what we're going through right now, right? Trying to get the deadlines and prioritizing and time management. It's,
I felt like that was like our lives, like the school stuff, the due dates come first, and then like it's like the little stuff, and like it's like you get all this emails for the week, like telling you what you need to add, and what you need to do, and it's like so busy and it sucks.
I feel called out by the laundry thing.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I have a full laundry bin that needs to
Yeah.
ship.
So
Called out by
as you see,
style.
so the point of our entire group activity is to really hone in on prioritizing and time management, which we discussed, Katelyn and I, that we kind of think those two go hand in hand. We did deadlines first because I think as a student, deadline is the top and that's what we want you to get done, and then everything else is secondary. Where it sounds, in a nice life, it would be nice to go to the gym whenever you want and go out and eat with your friends, but if you have a deadline by 6, that's probably what you do for the next 10 hours. So I think as a student, we can all relate to that. Can we all relate to that a little bit? That doing the schedule kind of seems like what it's going to be like the next 2 weeks here at CM College. But there were a few parts that were missing in our schedule, if you want to go over that.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so like, you guys can come back up and like look at the schedule, but like, is there anything that you noticed that was like missing? That we didn't?
Food.
Sleep, eating, sleeping, functioning.
Hanging out, people like friends.
Yeah.
Us,
Incorporating
Focus
other
on
parts of
facilities.
self-care into it.
brushing our teeth.
Watching like shows.
Yeah, showering.
Oh.
Showering the cat box because
Sorry.
Did you say eating?
cleaning.
Oh, I thought you
I
said-
am not eating my cat's box, no.
Eating
So
my
in a
robots?
perfect world,
scared.
don't you think that sleeping would kind of just be like already in the schedule?
Yeah.
It's not something that we need to kind of implement in there, but I think as students, we all have to kind of put time aside to either nap or to go to bed early or make sure that we have enough sleep in order to do the whole day over again tomorrow.
You know,
So, okay.
I never thought of like scheduling in when you do homework.
But you have to.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I've never done that yet. I just like,
Do it when you
I
do
just
it.
do it, I do it, and like, Lisa really killed me. Like, I just, Monday, we had both the review part 2, the test proposal,
Oh.
and we had the focus, the group facilitation due on the same day, and like, my sister came this last weekend, and I didn't get any homework done until, I didn't start my homework until Sunday at 10 p.m.
Yeah, that was like me as a horse show all weekend, we did until Sunday.
Like, our weekends are just jam-packed full of stuff that,
Cause you want to see people, like today my cousin's coming, I'm not gonna be doing anything, other than just
You
like
work?
hanging out. I work, yeah.
So if we all wanna maybe go around in a circle and we can talk about like a mini blip of what our schedule looks like in a week and all the things that we feel like we need to finish. And I think after that, a lot of us will be like, we're kind of all on the same page with that. And I think as a student, that's not the page you wanna be on when all of you guys are stressed out, but at times it is natural stress and it's kind of inevitable when deadlines are coming around the corner. So if we wanna go around, whoever wants to share first, if you wanna contribute kind of about what your schedule is like.
Mondays I have the 2 morning classes and then I have a 6 to 9, so I have time in between. Sometimes I'm exhausted from doing work all day on Sunday that I nap in between my classes. Tuesdays and Thursdays I wake up at 5:30. I go to fields from 7 to 2 and then I work 3 to 8. And on Fridays I have this class only and then I work 2 to 5:30. Saturdays are some Saturdays 7 to 2. So yeah, the only day I really have to like nap and do stuff are Mondays and Wednesdays, because by the time I get home from work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am done. There's nothing coming out of me, because I'm exhausted after
Too much
14
stuff.
hours.
like, I don't understand how
Priorities.
it goes out.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing. Does anyone else want to share something about their week schedule?
Go ahead. Oh, my schedule is sort of my own making, but I get up every morning at 5:30, I have to. So I spend an hour doing the horses to cats, and then I have an hour and 15-minute commute here. And I'm here till usually 9 at night, because I have to do homework here, because I get back home about 10:30 and it's all over again. It's my horses, my cats, and then hopefully get something to eat before I go to bed. Usually bedtime is between 1 and 2 in the morning. Right back up at 5:30. And that's Monday through Friday. Even on my intern days, I'd have to come back here after I'm through with the intern, so.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you come back here?
Tuesday I have a
6 to 9.
6 to 9,
right.
and then Thursdays I come back here usually to do homework
Homework.
again.
We have the
because-
AA meetings.
Because, yeah, and stuff like that. So, and it's an hour and whatever commute. So that's 3 hours out of my day just in
Just
traveling.
commuting, yeah.
It's interesting too to see the difference and the similarities between living on campus and being a commuter. There's so many things that we have to also factor into the fact that we're just a student in general. Does anyone else like to share something? Yeah.
Okay, so Sunday mornings I have church, and then usually I'll have like lunch with my family after, but then I have to be at work at 3. And I actually just picked up a companionship of a 13-year-old every other Sunday from like noon to 5. So on those Sundays I'll be at work at 5 after she gets picked up. And then Mondays I'm in class from 10 to 4, and then I work 4 till 11:30. And then I go home, and then Tuesdays, my internship is 12 to 8. So usually, like, I'll get up and I'll, like, run errands or I'll do homework before I go to my internship. Wednesdays, I'm in class from 10 to 5:50, and then I work 6 to 11:30 at Stewart's. And then Thursday, same thing, is 12 to 8. And then Friday, I have class from 10 to 4. And then I go to church on Friday nights, it's like our college group. So that's from 7 to 10. And then Saturday I either work 4 a.m. to 12 or 8 to 4. And then, so I have Saturday nights, but I usually will like hang out with friends or something, and then it starts all over again on Sunday.
How many hours a week is that?
You're like 28.
And then
But
on
then
top of
between
this,
my internship and work, I work like 52 hours a week. On top of church and
Alright.
family.
Let's see if I can one up you.
Alright.
Alright, so I work on weekends, so Saturdays I've been working doubles, so I work from 7 to 9:30. And then Sundays I work from 8 to 4. And then Fridays I work from 4:45 to 9:30. So that will put me about 25, depending on the week. I don't work doubles every Saturday, because I do have a social life. And then I have my internship. I've been working 9-hour days at my internship just so I can take off the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to go home early. And then I do a cappella Sundays and Wednesdays. I do piano lessons on Monday nights. I have to fit in gym 5 times a week, which is not that easy. Pep band on Tuesdays. I haven't been to any games yet, but I'm gonna start this weekend. So tomorrow I'm working 8 to 2, and the game from 2 to 4, and then go back to work 4 to 9:30.
thank you for sharing. It sounds like a lot. A lot
Plus
going
homework.
on.
Plus church.
Anyone else would like to share?
So, a cat normally starts the process of waking me up around 6:30. I have to get up, feed her, give her fresh water, clean the litter box if I have time. I have to take my meds, get dressed, and then I have another class, breakfast, this class, homework usually. Then I have ASL club at 7, GSA at 9 to 10. And then usually one of my friends needs a ride somewhere. And then Tuesdays, I have my internship from 8:30 to 4:30. And then I have like 5 minutes to eat dinner, and then I go to my 6 to 9 class, which usually lets us out at 8, but sometimes he goes till 9. And then on Wednesdays, basically the same as Mondays, except I usually have my counseling appointments at 2. And then I have Carla's class from 6 to 8.
That's a lot.
I missed all call in the theater last week, which should have been 4 hours of helping build sets and helping with lights. I missed 3 bonding nights last week
It's a lot.
that count towards club active membership.
But basically, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on. I think that what's really interesting about everything that you guys are all sharing is that we didn't really talk too much. You guys didn't put the deadlines in there. And to put this entire schedule on top of everything that you guys just said is a little bit overwhelming. I think we can all agree on that. So I think it's really interesting to see that we all have different schedules, either we're commuting on campus, living on campus, working additional jobs, volunteering, clubs. It's so many things to factor into a 24-hour day, and a week in general too. So if you want to go on to the next.
Tips one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we came up with a couple of tips to like help manage like workload. And then I think you have the actual.
Yeah, so actually, if we want to, I'll just cross off too, that we just went over the reflection part of ours. Just so we can keep track of that. So first, I just wanted to start off with, as I said, that not a lot of us like icebreakers, but I did that one for a reason. So we all kind of went around and we said our name, which was great. We all kind of want to know who everyone is in the group. But in addition to our dream job. I picked that question because as a student and as a professional, we always want to make sure that the goal within each and every day is that we're striving to be a little bit better than we were yesterday. And it's kind of hard to maintain when you have 15 deadlines in 10 minutes and you kind of don't really know what's going on and you're super flustered. But I think the main thing that we want to put across is that a tip for self-care is to know that you do have a goal out there and that you do want to be something bigger than what you are in your professional or academic field. So I think, so we all run around the circle and some of them had to do with social work and some of them didn't. And I think that that's something to also keep in mind that, we're working for our undergraduate degree, but also as students, as professionals, we want to put a bar up there. We want to put a goal that we're always striving towards something. And it might be something little, just a friendly reminder if you're on Instagram and you see a blogger and that's something that you really enjoy. Or if you see something about marine biology and that's something that you enjoy, it's that little spark that will keep us going. So for goal setting, I think is really huge. And then in a reflection of our entire process too, putting together the schedule, we talked about prioritizing and time management, which is very ugly as a college student, and it's not easy, as we kind of all just shared, going around and talking, contributing our schedules. I think that that's something to keep in mind, that the gym is something that a lot of us might need, or eating healthy is something that we want to fit in. And if we want to go to Saga with our friends and sit for an hour, we don't have to freak out because we have 12 deadlines. And we should be able to go to clubs, and we shouldn't be missing time and hours, or if we want to go to church, we should be able to factor those things in because we are a student, and that is something that's all-encompassing of our student life as well. And then the other one that I wanted to talk about was the to-do list. So I know that it was just like, why is she making us cross off these things on the list? We realized that another tip for academic and professional self-care is to always make sure that you're managing yourself. And that I think all of us kind of know when we're or even on campus now that it crosses it out for us. It's kind of nice to look at it that we've completed all of these action steps in order to meet the deadline. So if that's something that you guys found helpful as well, then maybe we can cross off a few things. So not only that we're staying organized, but that, hey, we did this, all right, let's go on to the next thing. Or hey, we did this, now we have some time to do X, Y, and Z. I think that that's really important, as you guys shared, these things that you want to do on campus and being involved with in general as well. And then I don't know if you have a few more tips to share.
So one thing, because I was doing the self-care reading last night, and one thing that I found that said is if you don't do self-care, then your professional and academic life is going to pay for it. And I personally found that very relatable, because for me personally, I know if there are moments when I personally feel I know if I do work right now, it's just going to be total crap. It's not going to be hand into Elisa worthy. And so I guess my question is for you guys is how do you ever take self-care and professional and connect them in a way you're okay, I need to make sure I have self-care before I do work, or do you guys just do work when you get a chance?
Well, on Wednesday I got super frustrated because me and Michaela thought our video didn't get uploaded, but it did. So I was going to do work, but I was frustrated, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna lay down for a little while and then I'm gonna do work. Because if I try to start something right now, it's probably not gonna go anywhere. I'll just stare at a screen for 2 hours. Whereas if I lay down and watch Netflix for a little bit, at least I'll like, you know, get my mind going and then I can go back and do work.
Charlotte McCaskey.
Yeah, no, I feel the same, like if I get home like late from my internship or like I'm doing stuff, I'm like, I can't do work, like I need to just sit and lay down and hang out before I attempt work.
I agree with that, like, yesterday was a really rough day at my internship, so when I got home, I also had ushering afterwards, and I should have, like, done laundry or washed the dishes in that time, but I just sort of, like, laid with my cat,
Yeah.
because there was no way I was gonna keep pushing myself throughout the entire day.
Thank you for sharing.
As well.
Usually after like my classes or my internship or work, I take like 20 minutes to just like chill and like go on my phone. But I also think that like it doesn't really, like I usually like to do my work and then reward myself with self-care.
I usually find that I don't have a whole lot of time to do work, so I'll do it like late at night, like when I get home from work at 11:30, like I'll sit down and do homework. Or like I'll bring a cup of coffee and I'll stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I can work on homework and stuff. Like last night, I went home from my internship, I had to go to my apartment and clean because we have an inspection, even though I don't live there anymore. But then I went home and I did homework at like 11 o'clock at night because it was due at school.
Thank you for sharing. So I think to kind of tie that all in and summarize it is, there's a lot of things we have to do in order to make sure that our academic and our professional setting, and two, our internship, we have to make sure that we're prepared and that we're engaged and that we're there when we're there. And half the time, when we don't get enough sleep, or if we went out, or for X, Y, and Z, we're kind of not in the moment at our internship, and that's the time where we need to be in the moment, because elsewhere, like you said, it's gonna pay off when we actually are in the field and we're missing or lacking the knowledge or the information on how to do the job right. So I think, like you guys shared a few little tips, does anyone else have any other tips that they would like to contribute in how they kind of balance not only their school life, but every single aspect of our school life as well as professional and academic self-care?
I don't have a tip, but I find it so hard like being in the townhouse and like having to do work and I'm right above the living room and all I hear is like my friends screaming and laughing. Like I find it's so difficult for me to do work.
So you guys feel like there's a lot of barriers
Totally.
maybe in order to get the job done?
Yeah, like I have to come here in order,
Yeah.
if I have like a big assignment done to do, or if there's no one else in the house, I can sit and do homework. But if once someone comes in, that's it, game over.
It's over.
I can't do it. I'll try and I'll sit there and I'll like pretend I'm doing something, but it's never productive. I have to be by myself and I'm weird when it comes to homework.
Would anyone else like to share anything? No. All right, so to kind of tie this up a little bit, I wanted to talk about one more tip, is in a way embracing the natural stress that we get from an academic setting as well as a professional setting. That this week right here, on top of everything that you all shared, is going to happen probably every other week or every week, and then we'll have one really good week and then 2 weeks go by. It's something that we kind of signed up for as a Life First student, but at the same exact time, it's also in our power and in our capacity to make sure that our schedules are balanced in order for us to go about it the way that we would like. Thanks, Karen.
I noticed that my mood changes like depending on like how hard the week is.
Yep.
Like there's some weeks that I'm like, screw this, I'm taking a year off, and then like on weeks where we don't have a lot of stuff to do or like it's like an easier week, I'm like, you know what, like I need to get my degree done, like I'll finish my master's after this. And like it literally just depends on like the week. And it changes all the time. And it's like really frustrating.
Yes, Krista.
You know what
Thank
makes
for
it
sharing.
easier is like having coworkers who deal with the same stress. Like when I go to my internship, like they'll all be like getting their masters, like part-time or some even full-time. They have a full-time job and working full-time at school, and it's so relatable. Like we can talk about our stress and like I think that's what makes it easier when I'm so overwhelmed and all this stuff that I have to do, is just knowing that I'm not alone. There are tons of people, like when I come here, and I hear about all you guys' stress, it's like, oh, good, it's not bad. I'm not the only crazy one.
So extra stress might be relatable in some sense, then you're not alone. It's a good way to look at it. Would anyone else like to share maybe something that they think that they can do in order to improve their academic and social self-care?
Stop procrastinating.
That's a tough one, when you have a week like this.
Yeah.
Stop procrastinating, that's a good
I'll
one.
I'll tell myself I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and then the due date comes, I'm like, yeah, do it. But other things come up, life happens
Yeah.
sometimes.
And it's hard to find that balance too.
Yeah.
When there's things like you get sick, or you go out with your friends and maybe you go out a little bit too hard and the next morning's really rough, and then that takes away 5 hours of time to do work as well. So I think it's also, like we said, just embracing the natural flow and the natural currency of what it is like to be a student. And a lot of us students can go out and have fun, and then we also have to wake up and make sure we get to our internship, or make sure that we get to work on time. And there's a lot of responsibilities that are tied in. So I think, in a way, maybe you guys can give yourself a pat on the back because you've made it this far. We have Thanksgiving break right around the corner, which I think is something that we can all reflect on. And then right after this, we have 2 weeks until Christmas, that Christmas break. So knowing that we're able to get through that maybe alleviates that intensity and stress of our deadlines as well.
I've been stressing because I'm like, there's only 4
How
weeks left
they
of the
even-
semester. But then I'm like, but we have all this stuff due before the end of the semester,
Uh-huh.
so I'm just like,
It's like
I'm
the
thinking
big
maybe
assignment for
I'll
this class.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
I'm late on this, I'll probably be late on this assignment, so I'm not by myself. Y'all see what kind of self-care I'm doing? I've got barn boots on, for Christ's sakes, with
Great, I'll come over and see the horses.
I know.
Yeah, I will
House.
too.
Come on.
My parents go
Let's
to
go for a ride.
Wanna go to see
My mom has a
Gary?
Yeah, we're gonna come visit.
For
one
times
day.
like this.
Very live independent heart.
Do what you can.
Yeah.
and
Wait, where
fuck
do
the
you
rest.
Over near Canada.
It's a good saying to get through it.
That's like
That's
out
that's
west.
my mom.
Isn't it called like Fonda?
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
it's
try
not
and get
fun.
centered again,
You
everyone.
know, something town road.
Cocos.
Oh, that's how
My
far I
grandparents
go.
had a farm up there. Growing up.
Yeah, laugh it off.
We're gonna ask my dad.
Longtown?
All right, we're gonna try and get centered again, just so we can wrap up this session on time, because I know that we all have class and homework and stuff to do. So if everyone, I was just thinking, in order to close this out, if everyone wants to, like we discussed, go around and maybe do one thing, say one thing that they're gonna do this week in order to make sure that their week flows a little bit smoother than anticipated. If you wanted to share that, or if you want me to start and give you something that I'm gonna do. If that helps. I'll start. So I was thinking that this week, that although I'm kind of out of running because of my back, that I'm gonna make it, because I kind of use that as an excuse to not go to the gym. And it was nice to have kind of a free schedule, because now I have 2 extra hours to do whatever I want. But I'm gonna try and go and use other machines and kind of use up that time and utilize exercising, because I know if I get my exercising done, then I'm more energized and ready to do work and happier and nicer and in a better mood. So I think that it definitely encompasses my life as a student. Something I'm gonna try for next week.
So tomorrow I get to hang out with a couple of like elementary school kids, and these kids are like so much fun. Like they can make you forget about all stresses you have in life. So I'm just gonna have some fun with some little kids.
I'm gonna try to get as much homework as I can done this weekend, so that I don't have to worry about it during the week.
I'm gonna try to pay Caitlin to do my lit review.
Oh jeez.
It's a good one.
I'm gonna not do anything on Sunday and get stuff done so I can spend a lot this week, next week, and get all my stuff together to leave for a break.
I don't know. I would say that I'm gonna do work, because I'm not going out tonight, but like I know I'm not gonna do work tonight. So,
Or maybe just take a night to relax.
yeah, just relax tonight. Self-care.
We have the 2 assignments due on the 19th for
What?
this class. The lit review, the facilitation. I don't know, I have like 4 assignments due the 19th, so next week I don't have much due, like concrete stuff due, so I'm gonna spend a lot of time. I've already started most of them, like, So I'm gonna try to finish them up by like the middle of the week, so I don't have to stress too much next weekend.
Sounds like a plan.
We're just gonna take 2 weeks off. Just go home tomorrow. No, I think I'm gonna just try going to the gym before work, so we can get me into like the working mindset. Like when I'm at work, I can't concentrate because I'm too thinking like, why am I gonna go to the gym today? Chris, you're not gonna have time to go to the gym today. And then I like focus, oh, is it 4 o'clock yet? I need to get to the gym. Like, I think if I go before, I'm less focused on the time and like more focused on, the work I'm doing.
That's a good idea.
You're hot.
So definitely this week we're gonna do a lot of work. I think I'm gonna do homework on Tuesday and Thursday morning next week from field. But tomorrow we're doing my family like Thanksgiving dinner because my aunt's having her baby the day before Thanksgiving. So we're not gonna and my grandmother's out of town and my mom's gonna be with her, so we're not gonna have our Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving.
Go to my house.
Okay.
Aunt Sue's.
What?
Come to Aunt Sue's.
So I think I'll take that time to like get work done and stuff like that, because it won't be like family time, it'll just be like time off, I guess, because we'll already have our family time.
I absolutely need to make time to take Tia Beanie for a walk this weekend because she's getting a little stir crazy and she makes it really difficult to focus and do work when she's running around and jumping on things and knocking things over.
Wait, what's her name?
Tia Beanie.
I thought she was coming today.
She's coming next Friday.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for sharing. I'm happy. It is kind of nice to realize that everyone's got a stressful schedule and you're not alone, and that you're not the only one going through the grunt of being a student and as well as being a professional. So I would like you all just to look forward to it. We're in the home stretch with not only Christmas break but with graduation, and I think that's another way to look forward to things, that we're going on to the next big step in our life. So these crazy hectic deadlines aren't going to mean anything after May. So if we get there, if we use our self-care tips, and we will get there. I think that you guys just need to stay focused, and it's nice to see that we all have that in common, and that we all kind of have similar stuff going on. So within your program, within your friendship circle, within exercising, within work, you're able to find that unity and that communication and that comfort. And I think that's really big for self-care. So thank you for coming, and if you have anything else you'd like to address.
Well, I was thinking that, like, to kind of like change gears a little bit, like since we never did like our gratitude Monday or Wednesday meditation, like, do you guys want to do that quickly right now?
Both of them?
Gratitude.
Yeah, like
We
we
do
do
gratitude, I
first,
can't
and then
meditate
gratitude.
right now.
All right, so we can do gratitude if you'd like. If anyone would like to start, and then we'll just follow in the circle.
I'm grateful for public safety because I have to go talk to them because I'm locked out of my room again.
That's always good. Usually a lot of people aren't too thankful for public safety, so I'm sure they would love to hear that. I'm very thankful that I get to go back to the gym today, and that my body's getting healthier each and every day, which is really exciting. Thank you.
I'm grateful that people aren't judgy because this morning my roommate brought these 2 people in to like film around campus, and like I was still in my pajamas when they came in, so I'm just like walking around like in my sweatpants and oversized t-shirt, messy hair. So
I'm grateful for my mom because she's gonna take me shopping this weekend. Take me away from campus for a little bit.
Oh, me. Grateful for friends. That group email. I love watching. Yeah, I guess my mind off the troubles. I enjoy that.
I'm grateful for you guys and the whole nature because you guys are like my closest friends.